Hello there. Last month I shared a video based on a concept by my YouTube friend Amanda Z, which I called Beauty Gives Back, featuring brands that gave back to the community during the pandemic. Sadly, we find ourselves in the midst of another crisis as the world watches on at what's happening in the US and is spurred into action. On Instagram, I've shared my support, useful resources, and the work I'll be putting in offline and online to support the Black Lives Matter movement, but I wanted to talk about it on my channel too. If we were interested in brands that helped during the pandemic, we should be interested in what they're doing now. Makeup is certainly fun and creative, but it can be meaningful and impactful too. The vast majority of my online community here is American, and while I know you don't need to see a foreign beauty blogger talking about this, we all need to be talking about this. Racism, inequality, and police brutality by no means stop at the US border, and it's a critical opportunity to reflect on issues in our own societies too. Australia has a truly appalling history of treatment of our Aboriginal people and other minorities, so the pain in America is echoed here. I don't say that to lessen the experiences there whatsoever, but to recognise that we regretfully see the exact same issues of deaths in custody, discrimination, and disadvantage in this country too. I know both from personal experience and daily messages and comments that beauty content has the power to provide a source of comfort and a break during difficult times. I'm always conscious of when to bring the real world in and when to continue providing an escape. But people of colour are a vital part of the beauty community, and they're not able to escape what's happening, so nor should the rest of us. There has been a wave of support from the beauty community, so I wanted to create a makeup look in this video using brands that recognised that Black Lives Matter and made financial contributions to civil rights and justice organisations. I know brands have shown support in different ways by sharing resources, lifting up Black-owned brands, celebrating Black creators, or making more discreet donations or actions behind the scenes. But there is far more work to be done beyond a donation. A donation is not the end. It doesn't excuse or make up for other actions. It's just the beginning. We know people of colour are all too often overlooked in terms of shade ranges, campaign imagery, influencer partnerships, brands' social media feeds, and representation within organisations themselves. Many of the brands that did donate have much more work to do in those areas. They all have more work to do. We now need to see real and sustained efforts to continue to create change going forward. The brands featured here are by no means the only companies that have contributed. I'll leave a link below to a long list of updates being put together on Instagram by Harper Skin. These are just a few of the products I've gathered from my collection to put together a simple makeup look with a sort of sunset, summer in the Northern Hemisphere, autumn in Australia colour theme. I'll run through the steps, briefly touch on each brand's contribution, and also consider further work that needs to be done in terms of these shade ranges. Starting with skincare, my regular morning routine of mist, moisturiser, SPF, and lip balm. Caudalie is a French brand with a presence in America, and the US arm of the company donated to the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union, which is a leading advocacy group also providing urgent legal assistance. They're a brand I love, but I would love to see much more diversity on their feed going forward. This bottle of their beauty elixir is almost finished. It's a really relaxing, pepperminty mist that dampens my skin and helps it drink in my moisturiser next. New York skincare brand Glow Recipe donated $10,000 to Black Visions Collective, a non-profit Black liberation organisation in Minnesota, and they've also been active on Instagram sharing businesses and accounts to follow and important mental health resources. I've probably shocked a few of you because this is not Glossier Priming Moisturiser, my usual pick. I'm using the Watermelon Glow Pink Juice Moisturiser instead. This gel texture is nice and light and cooling, very sweet watermelon scent, and I'd say it's even more dewy and glowy on the skin. Ultraviolet is my favourite Australian sunscreen brand that donated to Black Lives Matter, ANTAR, which supports Aboriginal Australians, the Indigenous Literacy Foundation in Australia, and a fundraiser for an Aboriginal man called David Dungay Jr., who died in custody in Sydney in 2015, crying, "I can't breathe." Sounds familiar, doesn't it? The pain and problems are definitely shared here. Regular viewers know how much I love this Supreme Screen SPF 50, a super smooth, lightweight cream that feels like a moisturiser, not sunscreen. Just remember to use at least 4 pumps for your face and neck, about a teaspoonful. I never want to waste the full amount on the back of my hand. Summer Fridays, the much-hyped masking brand from Los Angeles, donated to Black Lives Matter and the Minnesota Freedom Fund, which helps to bail out low-income individuals and protesters, and ended up being overwhelmed by $20 million in donations in just a few days. I've been very excited to try their latest product, the Lip Butter Balm, and it did not disappoint. A thick, juicy texture with a delicious vanilla flavour. I'll be covering more best-selling and new balms in a video in future. Moving on to makeup and a couple of familiar faces from my last Beauty Gives Back video. Trini London, the British brand, donated to Black Lives Matter. Their BFF cream has been a recent favourite of mine, an easy, natural-based product that transforms from a greyish colour to match your skin tone and create a healthy glow. I wear light medium and mentioned last time, and will say it again, that although this product is sheer and designed to adapt to your skin, there are only 5 shades that are nowhere near dark enough, so more work definitely needs to be done to expand. Glossier raised the bar and came out with a $500,000 donation divided between Black Lives Matter, the NAACP Legal Defence and Educational Fund, the Equal Justice Initiative, the Marsha P. Johnson Institute, and We the Protesters. They also allocated an additional $500,000 in grants to Black-owned beauty businesses. Their Stretch Concealer is an easy, sheer, dewy product to pat on where I want to even out my skin slightly but still look fresh. This one is from their original range that only came in 5 shades, but in January 2019 they expanded to 12 more inclusive concealer and skin tint colours. Milk Makeup donated $50,000 to the NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Coloured People, one of the leading civil rights organisations in the US, founded in 1909. They also matched donations by their team members to charities of their choice. This matte bronzer in Baked is one of my top stick bronzers, but it only comes in 2 shades. This is the lightest, and the dark isn't very dark. It might seem like a product range being more inclusive just means more foundation or concealer colours, but bronzer and blush are just as important. M Cosmetics, Michelle Phan's line based in LA, donated to the NAACP's Legal Defence and Educational Fund and shared a range of indie, black-owned beauty brands to support. Their Colour Drops Serum Blush is a fantastic formula, super light and creates a beautifully natural, dewy, sheer glow. You can see all 4 shades swatched in a video last year, but Sunset Sky is the stunning blood orange shade I'm reaching for a sun-kissed look. Fenty is a beacon of inclusivity in beauty. Their wide shade ranges across all products should be the rule in the industry, not the exception. They donated to the NAACP too. Their Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Blush is probably the product I've received the most messages about in my entire time on YouTube. I'll be filming a video on their blush and bronzer formula soon, but Rosé Latte is the deep terracotta I'm patting on as a sheer eyeshadow for this look. I'm obsessed with this kind of colour and gasped the first time I opened it. More to come on this. Ilia, the laid-back minimal beauty brand, donated $50,000 between Black Lives Matter and the NAACP Legal Defence and Educational Fund. I'm still reaching for their Limitless Lash Mascara at the moment. One side of the wand lengthens and the other adds volume, and it gives me the oomph I want but still looks natural. I haven't used their complexion products before, but there's definitely much more work to be done there, particularly given their recent powder bronzer launch only came in 2 shades. Rightly criticised for that. Honest Beauty, Jessica Alba's brand, donated $100,000 to organisations fighting for equality, and they named the NAACP Legal Defence and Educational Fund and the Equal Justice Initiative in that. They've also been matching employee donations. I'd heard great things about their tinted lip balms from my YouTube friend State of Kate, and this blood orange shade matched the mood of the M Cosmetics blush. These have plenty of pigment and quite a firm bullet, so they're something I'd usually think of as more of a sheer lipstick, but they do feel nice and comfortable and have a lot of shine. I like patting this colour on for a juicy stain of warm red. Canadian brand Nude Sticks set up a college scholarship fund for people of colour in marginalised communities, promising a minimum spend of $25,000 over the next 2 years, as well as a $20,000 fund to support black creators, makeup artists, and small businesses. Although their complexion products need to be more inclusive, I've always liked the fact that their nude plumping lip glacé glosses don't just come in 5 shades of beige, it's a proper gradient of nudes. Nude 08 is the deepest, described as a cool toned brown, but it reads as a beautiful rich terracotta on me if I wanted my lips to match that Fenty blush colour instead. Nude definitely doesn't just mean pale and sandy, so it would be great to see more brands recognise that in their product naming. I wanted my nails to be a small but constant symbol of the Black Lives Matter movement throughout this video, and this shade is by Olive & June, one of my favourite nail companies from LA. They donated $10,000 to Colour of Change, an organisation that uses online resources to campaign for racial justice. Olive & June always feature swatches swatches of their nail polish colours on dark skin tones on their website, and that shouldn't be refreshing, it should just be normal. This is the colour SD, which is actually a deep dark plum but looks very close to a true black on me. You can find all of my tips that made this at-home mani look neat in a tutorial on my channel. It's been fantastic to see so many brands donating, but we need to continue to see actions speak louder than words. I'd love to hear if you've seen brands you use step up during this time, resources you found helpful, and please share the steps you're planning to take to create change. We can all learn from this situation and take action in different ways. You don't need to have an online following to have influence. We can be listening, learning, reflecting, sharing information, discussing, donating, voting. For me in Australia, it means continuing my education. You'll find a variety of resources and a roundup on my Instagram linked below. Continuing to call out racism. I often see viewers say my voice is calming, thank you, but trust me, you do not want to hear it when I'm angry. Donating to organisations in the US and Australia, you'll find links below, and reflecting on what I can do to do more. I can assure you I care about this, it's all I've been thinking about, and it will inform my decisions going forward. Sometimes there'll be things you can't see behind the scenes, changing upcoming content, omitting particular brands, asking more questions of the brands I get to work with, and making decisions we can all make by choosing not to repurchase something or shop with a brand unless they demonstrate real change. Then there are the things you can see and hear, making more references to shade ranges, bringing the inspiring women of colour I've already researched for my celebrity makeup bag series to the top of the list, and supporting and sharing Black-owned and Aboriginal-owned brands, makeup artists and creators. Overall, I, and I'm sure many of you, will be looking to see ongoing efforts by the beauty community to show that Black lives matter. Thanks for watching, see you next time.